Rev up your engines! Okay, now why are CRVs popular? They're just second in popularity to the Toyota Rav4, which is even more popular. Well, you know why? Because the stupid things hold up. Why does this hold up? This is a 2013 CRV. Well, I'm going to show you. We're going to go through it, and you'll see why buying one of these things is a pretty smart idea. Got all-wheel drive. He's not going to get stuck in the snow. And as we look inside, it may not have been made in Japan, but it's a number 5. Honda's been making cars in Ohio for a long time. It's held up quite well. He bought it used. It's now got 100,000 miles on it. What has he done? He's changed the oil and filter on it. That's all you basically need to do with Hondas. There isn't much maintenance on these cars because they're so well made. He changed the oil and filter, doesn't burn any oil, runs perfectly fine. It still gets to 29 miles a gallon on the highway. Now realize, it's an all-wheel drive vehicle, so it's going to get a little bit lower gas mileage, and it's somewhat older. It's a 2013, but who's going to sneeze about that on a car that needs no maintenance whatsoever? If you start adding the maintenance costs and repair costs on cars, so what if you get 3 miles a gallon better when you got to spend over a 10-year period of ownership maybe $10,000 in repairs? He's changed the oil. You can buy an awful lot of gasoline for $8,000. 4-cylinder engine. Okay, a nice size. Not some crappy little 1.5 or 1 liter. It's 2.4 liters, and since it's older, it has fuel injectors on the rail, a much simpler system, and as you can see, it's from Massachusetts, so you see a lot of surface rust. You're gonna see that. And yeah, he did have to buy a battery. I mean, they're not gonna last 10 years, but everything else on it is pretty much original equipment. Even though it's tarnished, all the aluminum's gonna get salt on it in the winter. It's still going perfectly fine. Still has the original radiator, and it's working fine. Now, the reason this thing gets like 29 miles a gallon instead of in the 30s is because it's old-fashioned. It doesn't have GDI, doesn't have turbo. Everything on it is more basic than on a more modern car. But really, what's a few miles per gallon when you get something that can basically run forever? That's why they sell the heck out of these things. Now you can see, even the wheels still look good. And this is a Massachusetts car. The other day I made a video of the same year Chrysler product, all right? 2013. The wheels had all rusted away. One of them really looked horrible. The other ones had pits all over the place in them, right? Why can't Americans even make wheels? Hey, Honda's making wheels that don't corrode, and this Honda was made in Ohio, so it's technically an American car. But it's not all rusted away like that stupid Chrysler was. They just have better quality. So here we go. We'll turn the key on. Still has the key. I like that. Better than the keyless. Now it is a Honda, so they hide the port up here over your driver's leg. So we'll turn the autel on. Green lights on, and we'll see what kind of shape it's in. We'll do diagnostics. It's already read the VIN. We don't care. We just want standalone diagnosis. It's got 98,012 miles on it. Almost 100,000. Pretty good. It still pretty much looks like a new car. Seats are still comfy, no problems. Nice padding. A lot of room in the old slide here. Dated. It's got a CD player, but I mean, what the heck? You can always put that stuff if you want. We'll see what it comes up with. Do a topology scan of everything. So here it goes. And while it's scanning it, we'll just look around some more. Huh? Nice sunroof. Even the lip of the inner door card is in good shape. Mine usually wear because I stick my elbows on them, but this one's still in good shape. Now, the owner's telling me it doesn't burn oil. Still gets around 29 miles a gallon on the highway. Shifts fine. He changed the battery and the oil and filter. That's all he had to do to this thing. Almost 100,000 miles. There's only 2 trouble codes. One is the tire pressure monitoring system. They often screw up anyways. We'll see what it says. Tire 2 pressure sensor signal failure. As I always say, tire pressure monitoring systems. The sensor in each wheel has a battery. The batteries wear out over time. That one's shot. The other ones are probably on their wear out too. Just buy a tire gauge and check it yourself. That system doesn't work anymore. That's broken. You replace one. Hey, they're 11 years old. You'd have to end up replacing them all. Big expense. Who cares? Now we'll look at the other code after we erase that one. At least it's not a hard code. And the electronic power steering has a code. It's running through. We'll soon find out what that code is. Control unit power supply voltage. Well, now we're going to erase that too Because I see this all the time, the battery has been recently replaced. If you get low voltage in the battery, guess what? Then it'll trip the code for low voltage to the electronic power steering motor. But if you replace the battery and you don't reset these codes, the code will remain. A regular little cheap scan tool will not erase it. You need a fancy one like this, so we're going to erase that too. We're going to start it up. And we're going to check data. We're going to go to the powertrain control module and look at all that live data. Here's the live data, and now it's connected. So let's start looking at it. Remember, red is bad. It has no code, so, you know, you're not really going to probably see hardly any problems at all. Look through them, look for something odd. The air fuel lambda, it's almost perfect. 1 is perfect. 0.99. 1, now it's perfect. 1.01, off a little 1. Almost perfect. Hey, 100,000 miles, you can't ask for more than that. Keep looking, see if any oddball issues exist. Any red numbers, anything that seems odd. So far, everything is perfectly fine, which doesn't surprise me. It may be a Honda made in Ohio, but really, they're almost as good as the ones made in Japan. You can see it's almost perfect with no misfires, but there are 3 misfires on cylinder number 3 because it needs spark plugs, which will be changed soon. And as per usual, there's all kinds of data. Watch. It just goes on and on and on and on, but everything's fine. These brought spark plugs, so we're going to change them. So first, we'll take off the plastic cover. So now we're going to take the coil and plug off. Spark plug's hiding inside. Got a spark plug wrench. Here we go. Take it off. And we'll look at it. We're going to change them, but we'll see what kind of shape they're in. Here's the original spark plug. And you can see it's still in pretty good shape, you know. It's got hardly any corrosion on it or anything. But I mean, 100,000 miles, good idea to change it. And as the plug says, it came with iridium plugs, so we're putting those back in. And here comes another one. And it's about the same as the other one. It's worn, but nothing outrageous, no bad marking. But I mean, 100,000 miles, not a bad idea to change it because the number 3 did show 3 misfires. All right, the plugs and the covers in. Now I'll take it for a road test. You got to say, 100,000 miles, change your spark plugs. Why not? They were the original ones. There's a little bitty backup camera. I mean, they might have gone a little bit further on that one, but what can you do? You know, you can still see. Now, as you can see, it's got a nice pleasant green lights on it. I mean, it's a pretty well set up vehicle considering it's 11 years old. CRV, so on the bumpy roads, you'll feel some bumps. It's nothing outrageous, but it's short enough wheelbase that you're gonna feel the bumps. Turn off the eco setting so we can see how zoomy it is. Otherwise, it would be slower. All right, here we go. We'll floor it, and it's a Honda. There's zip. You listen to the engine. Smooth shifting. Hey, 100,000 miles. This thing doesn't run much different than it did when it came off the factory floor in Ohio. These are well-made vehicles. That's how they sell them. They get good gas mileage. They can run forever. The AZ still works. 100,000 miles. He's changed the oil and the battery. You know, that tells you these things are well made. It's still idle smooth, but has a lot of power in it and still gets good gas mileage. We'll get out of the way of this truck. He didn't seem to know how to drive. So there you have it, a 2013 CRV, 100,000 miles, in immaculate shape. He bought it used. The paint's still in good shape, and it's a Massachusetts car. If you remember the 2013 Dodge I did the other day, it was rusted out to nothing. Pieces were falling off of it. This is still in one piece, not rusted. So if you wondered about Hondas made in Ohio, don't wonder anymore. They do a pretty good job. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Audrey says, what are your thoughts on speed bumps? All right, I hate them. I find them obnoxious. You drive over them, the cars clunk. I really laughed my butt off because when I lived in Houston, all these old people put speed bumps. We didn't want people fast going through my neighborhoods. Guess what happened? One of them died of a heart attack because the ambulance couldn't go over the speed bumps fast enough. They didn't get him fast enough. The guy died. So, you know, I think it's a stupid idea. You know, people can't control. If they want to control speed, just have the cops sit in the neighborhood when the people speed, pull them over, give them a ticket, and real soon all the locals will find out. Don't drive down Treadwell Drive because the cops will give you a ticket, right? The speed bumps is just an annoyance. for everyone. And think about it. If there's emergencies happen, they slow the emergency vehicles down. Don't these people think of that? You know, I mean, you got to think about the whole ball of wax, not just one thing. Well, it has to slow them down. Yeah, it slows down the emergency vehicles too. John B says, what do you think about red light camera? Is it a money grab? Of course it is. And the most disgusting thing is, here's how it works, because I saw them when I was in Texas, but then they made them illegal in the whole state. They get these cameras, but the cities don't pay for it. They farm it out to a company. So the company buys all the equipment, sets it up, bills all the stuff. Because I got one in Houston once, and the bill was in Arizona. I had to mail the check to Arizona. So it's like, what a bunch of BS, right? Turns out that most of the time, 90% of that money went to the company. And the city only got 10. But the city's thing is, well, we got 10%. We got nothing before, and we didn't have to put any money into it. What a brilliant idea. It's a scumbag thing from all standpoints. Completely. And one of the reasons they stopped it in Texas was because it actually caused accidents. Because people would see it's turning yellow, and they'd step on the brake, older people. And then the Billy Bob behind him in a pickup truck, oh, it's turning yellow, and they slam on the gas to go through the light, but the person in front of them was afraid of getting a ticket, and they get rear-ended. It actually caused more accidents. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.